What's up, YouTubers? I want to start out today's video with a huge thank you to Hyperco Springs. Justin Cochran over there is a great guy to work with. They offer great technical support and the best springs on the market, no BS. They're not trying to sell you anything ridiculous. They'll give you the coil bind height of the springs, total load at coil bind height, your usable range, your free height, the things that matter. We set our cars up these days dynamically. We're not setting them on scales, static, measuring frame heights like your grandpa. We're trying to get the car over at attitude, make it dig, make it have a lot of traction. Hyperco gives you the information that you need to know to find the correct spring rates and heights for your application, and they offer great customer service. If you need help, holler at Hyperco and they will help you out. Hypercoils.com. Check them out. Hyperco Springs. Best there is. I know you guys been waiting on some more race car action. Andy came over yesterday and we did a little bit of science, decided what we wanted in a front end setup, got it halfway mocked up, and I'm gonna weld up some front end brackets for you today. Luckily, or unluckily, whichever way you wanna look at it, we got a snow day from work, power's out, so we're gonna get a work done here in the shop and put some front end brackets on the car. I'll take you guys along. Can't show you too much, but you'll get to see me do it. I'll show you guys what we have set up right now. You can see here we have the front end mocked up just like it would be on the race car. We put lowers on it, we put spindles on it, and we set the front end like we will on a race car, just for a baseline. Then I've got uppers mounted to it, sitting there, and I'll be able to position the uppers in relation to the center line and weld brackets on from there. This is going to be one of our front end mounts. We got little pills that go in there for adjustment. I'll test fit it on the car. Okay, what I've done here is I measured between these and measured between the steering box and the idler arm. I've drawn a perfect center line between here, and I'll be able to relate the angle that I want this and this back to this center line so we can position this how we want it to be in relation to our lower. What I'm doing here, I'm trying to get the front inside bolts of the A-arm level with the center of the ball joint. So we have our A-arm perfectly flat in essence. I'm just shimming up this under here till that becomes perfectly flat, and that way we have a neutral baseline to start our front end settings. What I did here was I found the center of this bolt, and then I took half the diameter of the ball joint and added it to that height, and that's what we have here. And so we'll be able to use that to locate off the top of the ball joint, and that'll give us the center. All right, now I'm going to take my angle finder and set the front end just like I would anytime I'm setting the front end on the car. I'm going to set the caster and the camber and get that where it needs to be. So that way when we put our mounts on the car, our adjustments will be in the middle of our baseline. So we'll be able to go to and from our baseline, but the middle of the adjustment will be baseline. So there's our caster and camber number where I want it. I've got this ball joint tightened up so much that it's basically solid, so it can't move unless you really have to pull it. So we're locked in there. We're going to set the upper back on there. Now that I've got the upper on, There's also an adjuster on the upper ball joint so I can lock it in solid when I get it where I want it to go. That'll make it just easier to have everything locked up in position. We're going to set the dive on this, and then once we have the dive roughed in, we're going to measure from here to our center line that we made and get it at the correct angle. Got a helper in here. Hey Bobby, anything you need to say to the camera? He's our resident front end geometry expert. Okay, I have the right front set exactly where I want it after a long time of moving and adjusting. And so now I need to make one of these mounts fit the front. What I'm going to do is make one in CAD. I'll show you. All right, you can see we have here our CAD. Cardboard aided design. I'm going to draw one of these on this piece of cardboard, and then I'll be able to cut it and make a pattern to make my real one perfect. How smart am I? Okay, got one CAD upper A-arm mount. Should accept the same pills that the real ones do, and I'll be able to mock up where it fits. Just trace it back onto the metal, we'll make a real one. Okay, the way I have this set, this should be the lowest that this A-frame is ever going to ride, and it is physically basically at the bottom on the back, so it can't go any lower. So we're going to use this pill. This is a bottomed out pill, okay? So that'll be the bottom of our adjustment. So when we raise it, we can raise it straight up and straight down. So we can keep our dive setting that we have built into it. So I'll take this, slide it on here, make it fit along the seam right, and then we'll be able to make a real bracket that fits right. Okay, we're more close to the right size. Now, we're going to need to mark this to cut right there. Need to be a little bit more. This will be covered by a weld. Okay, that looks really nice. Okay. That looks really good. Let me show you guys. You can see here, we got a bracket mocked up. It's got a nice gap on it. And we'll be able to make one of these out of steel. I'm going to mark on the frame where that's at so it's easier to line it back up in a minute. Okay, transfer this back onto the real steel. There it is. Mark on the other side too. There we go, marked out. When I'm cutting out brackets like this, it's always easiest to make a line first. And when you hit it right, it kind of will lock in your disc where you can actually cut along that same line, be straight. Guarantee this can be hot. All right, there's a bracket. Let's see if it fits as well as I think it will, or I hope it will. That should go right about there. Double check our measurements. Should be able to set this, which it is, 90 degrees from our rod. And I think we're ready to tack it on. That's exciting. We got one basically locked in. I'm gonna put some spacers on that. Boom, back in there. Right there. Okay, got a measurement for the other one. Okay, what's up guys? The camera died, so I'll show you what we got done. I just did a bunch of fitting. It was probably pretty boring anyway, but I'll show you where I'm at. What I did here was I ran a rod through all of these, just like we did the lowers. Ran a rod through all of these, set my dive where I wanted it to be, and used the amount of spacers that I wanted between the A-arm here to space those apart the way I wanted them. Made sure they were perpendicular to the rod as it went through at the dive setting, and got them all notched out and patterned to where they fit there. I'm in the process of welding them up right now. Remember to turn the camera back on. Got the first one welded up in the front. So I'll set you guys up and get these welded on. Let's get to it. I think I've explained this to you guys before. I've got a pretty weenie welder, so if I preheat these with a torch, the really thick metal here, these are like 1/4 inch thick. If I preheat these, it helps the welder penetrate into the thick metal, make a stronger weld. Okay, we're all welded up. I'm gonna let that cool off and we'll mock it back up together. Hell yeah. Okay, took a dinner break, had a margarita tower, very solid. We're gonna get started on the left front now. I'll let you follow along. Okay, we've got the front end set here, caster and camber wise. Got the left front A-arm on it. We're just going to do the same thing we did on the right front to the left front. Let's get after it. Okay, that's right where we want it. But first off, I've got some visitors in the shop that don't normally hang out with me. We got Baby and Ashlyn. Say hi, guys. Okay, we got this sitting at the dive setting that we want. Looks really good. Now we need to measure to our center line and get it lined up at the right angle. Wow, I'm good. That's like already right there. That's really good already. Yeah, I'm not going to screw with that. That's right. So that's where we need it to be. Just got to mock up a bracket. We'll start with the front one, get it in there, and then from it, that's basically the first building block. Then from there we can work off of it. Let's do it. Also, update. Gang's all here. Bobby, Bobby. We got Bobby, the official shop cat of Busch Performance here. He doesn't want me to tell you this, but he's terrified of the grinder. It's not the best shop cat. Nothing like Uncle Bill's dog that eats the sparks, but he tries his best. Cool thing about these adjustable ball joints is they're adjustable for tension, but when you're building it like I am, you can actually just crank the hell out of it and lock it in. So I'll get where I want and I can just totally lock it down right there. And so now we're pretty well stationary. Let's see if we can get a front bracket in there and build off that. Okay, still a little bit tall. All right, it's pretty much money. Okay, so we have a paper template here that fits really nicely. We're going to transfer that over onto our bracket and make the first bracket and get it tacked in. And that pretty much will lock in the rest of it, but we'll have to make 3 more after that. Let's transfer it over and make a bracket. Gotta notch that a little deeper. All right, that's really good. Let's get that tacked on there and set in place. There's a bracket. Let's make up another bracket, get it tacked on there. It's really a simple process now that I've got a method. This will be a lot easier too once I have a jig built for it if I ever have to do another one. So we're going to take this car, once this clip is done, put it back on our front end jig and jig these mounts up to where we can just do that again. So on a side note, if y'all need a Trick Fab Busch Performance front end done, we can do it for you for a nominal fee. Holler at me or Andy Milliken on Facebook. This will basically be the original. Make sure my angle's close here. Of course it's not. Grind a little bit off of that. Proper way to handle hot items is toss it in your hand and attempt to burn yourself as little as possible. That's the safe shop method. Whew. Okay. Yep, that'll work. That'll do. Bart'll do, as they say. Pushing the brackets together, give myself like a business card width apart, so that way you can actually fit the spacers in. Nothing worse than trying to put something together double shear and your damn spacers won't fit between the 2 plates. Will not be an issue on this car. Show y'all what we got here. Got 2 front brackets. Still got to do the rear ones. But basically when you get these in here, you're pretty much locked in on your location. And so these next 2 should be fairly easy. Well on our way to completed upper control arm mounts. I don't know about y'all, but I'm pretty excited. This is like, I've been dreading doing this part. This is fairly intensive. And if this part here works out and it's right, which it is, we're well on our way to adding some stuff that doesn't have to be nearly as critical, like some roll cage bars. Got lucky, and this bracket was really close to this one in shape. So I just copied it again, added a little bit of length to it, and we should be right in there. Oh yeah, it's real close. I'm gonna have to cut little bit off of this and leave that, which is gonna end up being good. Okay, we can do that. Try it again. I got pliers this time. Are you guys proud of me? Oh, shit. The pill in there upside down. That'll do it every time. That's looking pretty good. Oh, that's hot. Why do I burn myself about 15 times an episode? Okay. Let's get the inside edge level and tack it in place. Hold the level and tack at the same time. It's a good thing I'm talented. Highly skilled in every field of front-end technology. As the skilled technician works, everyone watches. All right, gonna make one more bracket. Let's make one more template. Oh baby, that's pretty nice. I'm getting pretty good at this. That is definitely within tolerance. Okay, let's cut out one more bracket with a grinder and tack it on there. We'll have a front end. Okay, let's see if this fits. Boom! Damn, I'm good. Oh yeah, pretty damn good. Let's shim it up with some cardstock and tack it. Calling it a night right there. I'll finish weld that up some other time. But that's really good. I'll give you all a quick walk around. There we go. Left front brackets. Right front brackets. There's our stub. Moving right along. Not sure what we're gonna do next in this episode, but I'll throw something else in there for this. It seems kind of short. So I'll throw something else in this episode. Stay tuned. Okay, after lots of math and ciphering, we got the frame fixtured in the floor. What I did here is on my old car, I had marked where the lower ball joints were located at the grease fitting. I drew a center line across here. We lined up the lower ball joints of the new car with the lower ball joints of the other car so that we'll be in the same plane as our mounts. And what all this is I've got things located. So like here's where the mid plate goes. There's where the foot box was. Here's where the pull bar was. A lot of that stuff may change and a lot of it will change. But I wanted a reference to know what I'm changing from and what we're going to. You can't just start, or I don't know, I can start with a blank canvas with nothing. So I needed a little something to go off of, and we're going to use that as something to do next, if that makes sense. So if something's here, we may want to move it over an inch or up an inch, down an inch, but I wanted something as a basis to know what to reference from. Because I knew what I liked about my car, and I knew what I didn't like about my car. And we're building a better mousetrap here. That's what we're doing. So just bear with me, and we're going to get to it. But it's exciting. We have the car on the floor. So there's the basis. What we're going to do first is we're going to mount a bar across there, and we're going to fixture it up, and that's where our 4-link plates are going to mount. Then the first bar I think we're going to run will be from the right side 4-link plate to the right side of the chassis on the stock stub. So that'll be up in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay with me. Bear with me. We're all figuring this out. We're all learning here. We're going to have it modified. We're going to do it. It's just going to take some time. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time.